Stevie has penned a handful of questions about me, and I've agreed to answer them as truthfully and as honestly as I can. I don't feel embarrassed to tell these stories, and I don't feel like I hold anything like I can't say it. You know how sometimes there's things you keep offline, you're like, I don't want to throw them under the bus. No, this is my life, and it's affected me to quite a degree. I remember the day my dad said he was moving out. It was the final of the 2006 World Cup. Me and my mum didn't get on, and she kicked me out. I didn't have any money. I didn't particularly work that hard. If you put me in a room with 5 of the biggest YouTubers on the planet, I reckon I could hold my own. I was brutal to people. Yeah. Like, I really was. But back then, I did want to just be famous for being famous' sake. Now it's completely different. That was kind of the defining moment. The fact that I fucked off my media grades to go in Big Brother, not the best decision in the world.
How did it feel the first ever time someone asked you or recognised you in public? Do you remember it?
Yeah, I remember it, yeah. We have this running joke on Happy Hour that obviously I get rid of co-hosts all the time. Yeah. He irritated me, I irritated him. I felt fake doing it, and I can't sit in a room every week if I felt fake. Have you spoke to him since we did the podcast?
Not once.
Not once.
Not a word.
And I got quite angry, and people liked it. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm a ranter then. On the YouTube channel, if I'm being completely honest, do I really want to do a rank bank about Bryce Hall? Not really. Well, why is he doing it then? For money. That's the main reason, for money. I have this deep set worry that if I don't keep the main channel ticking over, I'm not going to have anything else. Do I have more love for the podcast than the main channel? Yes, 100% I do. Do I still love making main channel videos? Yeah, when they're the right videos. So I feel like I'm kind of like just ticking a JaackMaate box every now and then. A part of it was jealousy. Why am I not getting the subscribers that Alfie Deyes is getting? I wanted to be like Alfie Deyes. I wanted to be Marcus Butler. The bit that I stand with today is, no, actually, I don't want to be like that. I genuinely don't think there's a lot of honest people on the platform. The majority of people that are in this line of work are in it for the money. Memulous, right? Used to cuss people up. He gained a big following from it. At the end, he goes, oh, by the way, guys, don't give him any hate. That's bollocks. That's f***ing if you really care about him that much, you wouldn't make the video about it. I've just called out Bryce Hall. I'm not going to say don't give him any shit. I'd literally say in the video, can we stop making pricks like this famous? He is a prick. Feel free to tell him he's a prick. And I'm going to continue to come in here with my best pals and give my honest opinion on things that people want to hear about. Do I want beef with these big... No, I don't. I admire a lot of them more than you know. But I'm going to give you my fucking opinion on them.
You've been at points where you've debated just binning off JaackMaate.
Yeah.
What brings you back?
Before I had YouTube, I didn't really have much of a life. Do you know what I mean? I had nothing. I don't care for my audience in the same way that they shouldn't live their life caring about me. Yeah. I'm here online. You can support me all you want, and I appreciate it. But if you ever get bored, just fucking click off.
Do you have any regrets or anything you do differently? Any specific moment that you might do differently over the last 10 years of YouTube?
Hello guys, welcome back to JaackMaate's Happy Hour. Bit of a weird one today because for the first time ever in the history of Happy Hour, it's just me and Stevie in the studio.
It feels strange.
It feels like we're doing an intro to well, we are, but like
this is literally the intro to this episode, chat.
You know when we like sort of like do the app and then we go, oh, you should listen to this. Peter Blexley was on for him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it does feel like that.
We did just me and you during lockdown. But we weren't in the same room.
Yeah, this time we have to look each other in the eyes as we ask these questions.
Yeah, usually I like having a guest that I can look at and be so it's like deters me from having to look at your...
You literally have nowhere else to look but straight at me.
I'm going to stare into your eyes the whole episode and we're just going to see what happens.
Well, yeah.
I've already broken that because I couldn't bear to look at your rancid face. But we are... oh, it's already started.
The weird thing about you doing that now is normally you get some kind of like laugh from said third person.
Yeah, because it's usually really funny.
If you do it now just to me, it's just straight up bullying.
That's all right though.
Okay. Shall we do what we're going to do?
Yeah, we're going to do a weird one today. Basically, New Horizons here at Happy Hour. Which you'll know about in the coming weeks or months or never, maybe. No, you will.
He's getting rid of me.
And today we thought we'd do an episode. We'd kind of like flip it on its head. Usually I'm the one here that asks questions to the guest. Well, I'm almost going to be in a guest role today because Stevie has penned or just typed on his notes a handful of questions about me, and I've agreed to answer them as truthfully and as honestly as I can. And we'll just see where it goes. I will tell you now, I have no idea what you're going to ask me.
You don't. And also, I didn't know what I was going to ask you just a few hours ago.
Yeah.
Because it was only on the train here you said, oh, we should do this episode. I'm like, oh, all right.
Yeah, I just think it's good to like come up with the questions then and there, like not to have too long to think about it. Like 40 questions you've always wanted to know, or 40 questions that you think the listeners will want to know, and we'll just see how it goes. If this doesn't go well, you will never hear this. So if you're listening to this right now,
it's a good episode.
Yeah, well, it's suitable. We post a lot that's not necessarily good.
That's true.
But there we go. So welcome to Happy Hour. This is JaackMate's Honesty Hour.
That's nice.
I like that.
Yeah. The questions I've done, I've kind of just done it in the same format as if we were asking a guest.
Okay, chicken and bacon lettuce.
Don't care about your meal deal.
Oh.
So, as we always do with most guests, I've started with what your childhood was like. We need to talk about your childhood.
All right.
Because I don't know too much about your childhood.
Okay.
Other than the fact that we went to the same first school, but I don't remember ever meeting you.
No, I don't. The only memories I have of you are like in the yearbook when you're like all gum. Do you know what I mean, though? Like,
yeah.
You ain't got no teeth.
Yeah, there's pictures of us both in like the school book, but other than that, I do not remember ever seeing your face at that school. Which is weird because it's a small school.
I was quite a bland kid, though. I think it was weird. My mum and dad always gave me a kind of like a skinhead, just shaved my hair off. It's like,
we all did then.
Yeah, but it's given me a horrible start in life, isn't it? Walking around like Phil Mitchell. I always say because I like had a thin layer of like ginger on my scalp, I look like somebody who's put their thumb in the bottom of a what's it bag. That's what my head looked like.
Hold on, who does that?
Oh, we all thumb what's it bag, Stevie. Come on, mate.
Not a single one of us do.
Get with the programme.
The next two questions I've kind of done based on your childhood, so we're not just suddenly skipping past that just because
I look like a what's it. Next 15-minute episode. Oh God. Yeah, go on.
Just because we mentioned that.
Yeah.
I've got two questions that kind of intertwine to do with your childhood. But we'll basically go into I want to know what your back then, school life doesn't really matter. Obviously, we didn't see each other, but that's the worst part. But outside of school, I have no idea what your childhood was like. Like, you just mentioned your mum and dad. I know bits of your mum and dad's history.
What bits of my mum and dad do you know? You fucking Jesus Christ. So what do you want to know? What I got up to after school?
So obviously they're not together now.
No.
So when did that happen in your life?
They broke up. I remember the day my dad said he was moving out. AKA just breaking up. It was on I think it was the final of the 2006 World Cup.
I love that you can relate that to a sporting event.
Yeah, because I remember it's quite sad. Like, I'll be honest, I don't need any sympathy. I didn't give a shit. Right? It was quite clear. But the reason why I remember, because you're going to say, well, how do you remember then if you didn't give a shit? I know you. I'm usually on this side of the table. But
still in the same seat.
But really, I didn't give a shit that they were kind of like. I gave a shit that they were breaking up, but I didn't think they were good for each other anyway.
Yeah, I guess you were at an age by then that
I think I was 13.
Yeah,
I think it was the 2006 World Cup. It's when Zidane played his last game and he headbutted Materazzi. You remember that?
Yeah.
And it was so I knew that after the penalties he would be going. And the reason why I say I didn't care, which kind
Zidane or
I was traumatised by Zidane going. I was like, shit. After
his last game
after his pens, we're never going to see him. But no, who would have known that fucking like 14 years later we would be, because he'd be mugging off Gareth Bale every week. But I didn't care they were breaking up, but I cared that my dad was moving out. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't care that my mum and dad wouldn't be together, because for the last like 5 years of that relationship anyway, it was pretty toxic. So I didn't care. My mum was always the aggressor, I'd say. Well, my dad was obviously a prick as well at times. Like, it wasn't just good. I'm not just going to say it's my mum all the time.
Yeah.
But my mum was a very angry person. So I was kind of like, I'm not too sure what you're getting out of that, Dad. So when she eventually
Get rid.
Yeah. So when she kicked him out, It's quite sad because I was actually, she's actually well sad, but I was actually buzzing that it went to extra time and penalties, so I had longer with my dad.
That's quite nice.
Yeah, I was like, big up Zidane for getting that red card because that really prolonged the whole event for me by about 4 minutes.
That's quite strange for me because for some reason in my mind, they always broke up when you were really young.
Oh,
Just
no,
because they've always been so separated in your life since I've known you.
Yeah.
I just automatically assumed it was years ago.
Right.
But it wasn't actually that long before
No.
we met.
No, probably not. About 3 or 4 years, something. And my dad always wanted my mum back for a while. So, like, I think even once they broke up, there'd be like hints that, oh, are they going to get back together? Are they not going to get back together?
EastEnders.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. But then he met somebody called Sue, and he's been with her 10 years, and he's probably happier now than he's ever been. So that's the end of that's the end of that little arc. But tune in next week to find out what happens with Stephen and Sue.
See, I don't know if this could go slightly deep, so it's up to how you want to answer it.
Yeah.
But the reason I felt like it was so long ago is because in the time alone that I've known you, you've never, from an outside point of view, looked settled. So just in the time I've known you, you lived with your mum for a couple of years.
Right.
Then you went to your uncle's.
Yeah.
Spent loads of time at your nans and grands, which
Yeah.
isn't your nans and granddads, which isn't a normal
I had
thing.
so many grands. I had one nan, but there's so many grands.
But that's not a normal thing for a late teenager, early 20s to do.
What, to like house surf, couch surf?
Between family members.
Ed
when
Sheeran did it, buddy, and look at him.
Yeah, but he was going to like
He was going
performance
places.
You moved from your mum's
Yeah.
3 roads away, or a little bit further, to your uncle's.
Yeah, because me and my mum didn't get on, and she kicked me out. And this is the thing, like, whenever I've spoken to my mates about this, it's like, we always joke about things on here, but we didn't get on, and I don't want to say, like, you know when, like, you have an argument with someone, and then you tell someone else that, and you go, but it wasn't my fault, it wasn't, like, I was actually a good, like, all my family know this, like, my mum had her own issues, and she used to project them onto me and my sister, but I didn't do anything wrong. So, for example, like, I would, like, I'd say, Mum, I'm going to be like, can I have some friends around for my birthday? And she'd go, yeah, that's fine. And then, because I've always suspected that my mum's probably got bipolar, right? My friends would come round on that day, all organised, all planned, and my mum wouldn't want it to happen, so she'd just come home and you got to go, kick everyone out. And I'd be there on my birthday like, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? So, and then it was purely just because she might have had a shit day and she'd take it out on me. Now, as I've grown older, because I used to resent her a lot for that, and obviously she's got problems with alcohol and whatnot, and I used to resent her a lot for that. As I've got older, I still kind of hold a little bit of resentment, but I don't think it's too healthy. So I kind of look back on it and, like, if she messages me now, like, we're on terms where, like, she'll WhatsApp me every now and then, like a picture of my family dog, and I'll go, oh, cute, and that'll be like she probably feels guilty now to how she dealt with her 2 kids back then. My sister has a much better relationship with her than I do, but I think because I was older, say I was like 18 when she kicked me out,
You could leave.
I could leave, and I resented her for, like, being like that with my sister as well. So I think my sister being a bit younger and that she needed a mum, whereas I didn't. So what I want to say now is, although we joke about her a lot and that, and she might listen to this, I think because of the amount of pain that I went through as a young teenager, I don't feel embarrassed to tell these stories, and I don't feel like I hold anything like I can't say it. You know how sometimes there's things you keep offline. You're like, I don't want to throw them under the bus. No, this is my life, and it's affected me to quite a degree.
Yeah, you're talking more about yourself than her in particular.
Well, but like, there's a part of my brain right now when I'm telling these stories that are like, oh, do you really want people knowing this about your own mum? Well, yes, because it affected me. Like, and it might upset her if she heard it, and she might be like, this isn't how it is. Well, this is how it was for me. So yeah, no, it's a. But this is the thing. Again, as I've got older and I've kind of learnt about kind of mental health conditions, addiction problems, I've kind of then been more open to the idea that maybe that wasn't really her.
Yeah, not necessarily her fault, but her brain.
Because I mean, like, I've been a cunt to people, and I've been drunk and, like, done stuff to people that I
just drunk,
which I regret. But when it's a lifestyle, you constantly don't know what you're going to get with a person.
Yeah,
does that make sense? So yeah, so she kicked me out just before Christmas, and my uncle, which is her brother, he kindly took me in, and I didn't enjoy really living there. It's not the best place in the world. Like I will always respect him for what he did for taking me in, but it's not the most well kept house. I don't think he really gives a shit about it. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he just works in his shed all day, so the house doesn't really get looked after. And I'd float between there and my nan's and stuff. And it was only since I met Fiona 5-6 years ago that we moved into where we are now. And I'm settled now, aren't I?
Yeah. Well, to an extent, you're still obviously not particularly happy with where you are now.
Yeah, only because I wanted to move on in life and stop renting and whatnot. But I'm the most settled now than I have been. But I will always say to anyone who is at home and is perhaps struggling with home life, I didn't have so. Let me preface this with, when YouTubers are like, guys, you can be what you want, man.
Yeah.
Fuck off. You got lucky. Do you know what I mean? You got lucky. So you can't sit here and tell people. But what I will say is 8 years ago, or however long it was, maybe longer, 9 years ago, when I got kicked out of my house, I didn't have any money. I didn't particularly work that hard. I worked at Bella Italia. I didn't do anything special. But before I got kicked out, I worried that I would never be able to do it on my own. You will be able to do it on your own. Like if you're in a toxic environment at home, you will find a way. Like as long as you have the basic means to get a job, just to tie ends, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You think, oh, without my parents, I have nothing. You do, you can. I've succeeded far more out of my family home than I ever did at home, and that's mainly because of my mum and that, but also because when you're not comfortable anymore at home with your parents, you have to kind of fly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you've got no choice.
Yeah, you have no choice. So you'll be surprised at what you get done when you have to do it, if that makes sense. But I think I told this story before maybe I didn't actually, but I've told people off air. But my mum and my dad are so contrasting. So obviously I have a great relationship with my dad. He's like my best mate. And I can tell him literally anything about my life. Like no matter how weird or bad it is, I can tell him, and he's just like, oh, he instilled a lot of good morals in me. But how cool is this? Yeah, because I remember when I first started making YouTube videos, it was 10 years ago. So no one knows where YouTube's going to go. There's not a chance. There's no idea you can make a penny out of it or whatever. I was making videos on my mum's webcam in my mum's computer, and I was editing all night and stuff. And sometimes if she thought I was up too late, she'd switch the internet off. I'm not going to claim that I was so hard done by. A lot of mums probably did that.
Yeah.
But it's annoying when I'm actually trying to build something. And I got my first paycheck through, which was £60. That's the YouTube threshold of when you'll get paid. And my mum wanted some rent at this point. I was like, fair enough. And I was like, I've only earned 60 quid. She went, I want 60 quid then. I was like, that's all I've earned. That's all the money I have. And then the next time I got paid 60 quid, I went and bought a t-shirt, and then I gave her what was left. And she had a go, and she was like, well, you don't need clothes. You don't need blah, blah, blah. Or you don't need more clothes because I had a handful. And my dad went, yes, he does. And he came in, he went, he does. He needs loads of clothes. And I was just like, do I? What? And he went, because he does YouTube videos now, so he needs to look different in all of his YouTube videos. He can't have the people that watch him thinking he's just wearing the same clothes. And I probably had about 12 subscribers. And my dad had no clue where my YouTube would go. He had no clue it'd be my career. But I think he just he believed in me that I believed in what I was doing. So he really gave me that push. So I guess it was a bit, I guess when I said, oh, you can do it on your own, I was lucky that I still did have people. My nan and granddad are great and stuff. So I did have people around me that could help me thrive. But it's not the end of the world if you get kicked out 6 days before Christmas, because you can make things happen, I guess.
Well, we'll move on.
Yeah.
We'll get away from the family stuff.
Yeah.
I want to go to the classic question we ask any YouTuber or comedian type person that comes on here.
Yeah.
And go back to school.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. I actually wrote on here, whatever you YouTubers who think they're funny, would you say that you were the class clown at school?
Oh, was you?
Yeah, probably.
Was
but
you?
Very respectfully, because I was also, teachers liked me.
Yeah.
So I'd be the class clown to friends and to... I've always been more of someone with words rather than fighting or anything. So if a chav did something stupid or mean, I'd just say something that they couldn't understand.
Yeah.
And I'd know I got them, but they wouldn't. So that would be my way.
I think that's often more of a success, though, if you can beat them with wit, if you can beat them with intellect rather than insults.
Yeah.
And that probably goes down to my YouTube channel as well. Back in the day, just calling people cunts, whereas now I actually want to try and think of witty ways to kind of...
Just call me a cunt.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. But Was you popular then?
Why are we going? This is about you.
Yeah, fair enough. Thing is, yeah, I was a really good model kid. Like, not a model.
You definitely were not a model kid.
No, I meant model student. That's what I meant. I was a really good kid. I remember at the end of first school, which is
Year 3, so
yeah. One of my teachers told my parents that I was a born leader, and they said that he is born to do well, succeed. And then in middle school, I kept remembering that, like that teacher, what they said. So I was like, I'm going to be good. I'm going to be good. I'm going to be good. All through middle school, great, top grades, clever. Then it got to high school. I started caring more about what others thought of me than I thought of myself, and what like grades I was getting.
yeah,
stuff like
that's
that.
pretty normal for that age, though.
Of course, yeah, because you're going through puberty, like, and especially when you go through puberty and you start seeing your face and body change in the way that mine was. Will this jaw stop growing? Long ginger hair. I got a lot of piercings. Had a bit of an identity crisis. If I look back at a picture now of me, Fiona will probably put one up if this makes a YouTube clip, and I look completely different. But so I started worrying, and then when it got to year 10, 11, I was in all the top sets. I moved. Now, I didn't know why I was moving, but maybe they were putting me down to the middle ones because I wasn't trying hard, and they moved me with the cool kids. And this was the worst move ever, because it was like, well, now I have to impress them.
Yeah.
So I went above and beyond to try and impress the cool kids to fit in, which has both helped and hindered me in the long run. The way it's helped me is that I am very good in a room of people that can sometimes seem intimidating.
You can socialise.
Yeah. Well, I can. If you put me in a room with 5 of the biggest YouTubers on the planet, I reckon, without sounding arrogant, I could hold my own, and I reckon I could have probably more character than half of them, at least, right? But where it hindered me, and something that I had to learn for a long way, and you might disagree with this now, especially when I have this like running theme of bullying you on the podcast, but it's from a place of love, I think. But where it hindered me is I was brutal to people.
Yeah.
Like, I really was. Like, I wouldn't, like, if me and you weren't doing a podcast every week and seeing each other and as being as close as we are now, I wouldn't be hitting you with these jokes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, because we're so close, I feel like I can. Whereas before, I would just be in a classroom, and to make the cool kids laugh, I'd pick on the other kid. And I just want to say, I would never bully anyone where it'd be repeatedly at them. I'd never. But if I saw a joke, or if I saw an opportunity to elevate my status, by putting someone else down, I would do that. And what I never realised, which is insane, is I never ever thought about them, ever, which is mad.
Nobody in that situation does, though, do they?
Well,
But the bully doesn't.
No,
they care about what they're getting out of it.
But like, I could never understand. Like, I'd go like, oh, how funny is this joke? Boom, on this person, get a big laugh here. I can almost see my, like, it's almost like Sims bars. I can see my Sim bar going up like that. And then a year later, that person will go, you're a prick, or oh, I don't like you. And I'm like, what? What? I don't get it. And then you feel like the victim. When really, I've met people that I went to school with, and they're like, oh yeah, I was in your class in year 11. I thought you was a cunt at school. And at first, I was like, huh? I never really spoke to you. But that's because you don't think about the comments that you said to people. Now, that's me being extremely harsh on myself. Like, I didn't do these jokes all the time. I was not a bully. I wasn't. And it sounds weird because I'm now saying I didn't think of them. But what I mean is, the 1 or 2 times when people have told me that, I'm like, I do remember saying the odd comment to you, or
you
just
didn't target.
Just being a little snarky bastard, and it just was, so it wasn't good. So yeah, at school, I think the last 2 years I become the class clown, but the whole class probably wouldn't say that. Like, it was only the
cooler kids.
The cooler kids, yeah. Which isn't good. If you are at school and you do feel like you want to fit in, worry about that after school, because the people that you go to school with, you are not going to probably see again. Yeah,
it's so rare. I don't know anyone that's still friends with school friends.
Do you feel like, because we're 27 now, we're in that age where it's like we're now starting to give advice to younger people, when it feels like yesterday we were the ones being given advice to?
Yeah, and you hated that advice.
Yeah.
Oh, shut up.
You never listened to it, yeah. Yeah, do not worry about what people think of you at school, because as soon as I left school and I remembered, well, I fucked up all my grades because I was predicted top in everything. I got 5 GCSEs. I barely scraped in. One was a little fucking B-Tech thing they give you just to push your grades up. I was basically handed the 5th one, and all the other ones was like D, E, F, whatever. I was like, this is shit. I remember seeing it going, and in that moment I was like, well, I fucked up my last 2 years for nothing. What I will say, going back to why you shouldn't care about people at school, I then applied for college and I got in by the skin of my teeth, and I was studying a media course. There was a couple of cool kids in college. You could tell they're like the stoners, go around the back of the bike sheds. Now, obviously at college, people are there to listen. It's a completely different social construct, isn't it? People want to learn because that's why they're
You've
there.
chosen to be there.
You've chosen to be there. But there's still the cool kids that would fuck about a little bit, and I could see me wanting to be with them, and I didn't do that. I just thought, I put my headphones in, and I thought, walked into the classroom, and I thought, I've fucked it up once before. I'm not going to fuck it up again. And I sat at the back with a guy called John, and he's a lovely lad, this guy, but he'll be the first to admit, nerd. Bit of a geek, right? But he'll tell you that himself, right? He's aware, he's not an idiot. And I was like, I don't give a shit if I'm now the nerd, the geek. Whereas I would have hated it in school, but it shows that how quickly I've matured to suddenly flip. And I had more fun with him than I did with any of them cool kids. But on my Bebo page or whatever, I can tell you what page would have looked cooler to the outside world.
Yeah.
Social status doesn't fucking mean anything at school.
So at what point did you first upload to YouTube? Was that late school, or was that once you were in the college?
Late school.
How did you do that? Trying to be in a cool group, uploading to YouTube.
It was kind of like a bit of a poison chalice, especially what can you do with a banana, which was my one of my first videos was a piss take of Tyler Oakley. He did what can you do with a pimp cup, so I did what can you do with a banana.
What can you do with a banana? If you wish hard enough, it could turn into something nice.
And I kind of almost tried to keep it to myself, but a few of the kids at school found out, and they did banter me quite a bit, and it probably was a bit like, this guy's being a bit fucking cringe now, isn't he? But I think because I'd reached the status of class clown, I'm almost laughing at myself. So like they're coming in. I probably wasn't aware just how much they were actually taking the piss out of me. I remember going to play football for a team called Firstside. They'd rinse me all the time. Like, I was very much not the cool kid at that football club. I'd go from school to that, and it would almost flip on its head. And I told everyone at school, because I was like, look how funny this is. And as soon as I saw people change, and they were like, he's a bit fucking weird. Like, this is before everyone did YouTube.
Yeah. Imagine
doing it 10 years ago. Like, I thought it was weird. So when I went to college, I didn't tell anyone.
Yeah.
No one. Maybe John, who was talking about.
He wouldn't care.
he was too busy playing fucking Dragons and Layers or whatever it's called.
Dungeons and Dragons.
That's the one. Yeah.
Dragons and Layers.
Yeah, so I didn't tell anyone. And then it was kind of like the complete opposite reaction from what I got at school. Because I came in one day. I'd been there about 4 months, 5 months. I came in one day and we were all working on the computers. It was like a Photoshop lesson. And I come in, I walk in, my heart sank because I could see they were all watching my videos. And I was like, I just want to turn around and walk out of this classroom because they're all going to be rinsing me. And they were all just like, this is sick, mate. This is sick. And it was like completely different reaction to what I was getting at school. And then from that moment on, I just never really gave a shit. Because it was the day after I got, you're probably thinking, how'd they find out? No one told them. And it wasn't like, oh, it sounds wanky, but it wasn't like now I get recognised by people. But I'm talking like, I probably had about 3,000 subs, yeah? So the amount of people that I'd never been recognised in the street. But YouTube featured my video on the homepage. It was 25 things everybody hates. I went in and they'd found it. Now, whether or not they found the content funny or cool or not, I don't know. But it was probably helped by the fact that YouTube had put it on their homepage and they'd clicked on it and seen it. So yeah, that was a bit of a different vibe in that room that day.
Would you say around that time there was a defining moment where you thought YouTube could be more than just random uploads to the internet?
Yeah, because I was already making a little bit of money from it. I remember I bought some nice trainers and that, and I thought, oh, this is going all right. YouTube, I mean, up until like 5-6 years ago, there was no real, it wasn't big money at all. Like, I don't think I'm talking for anyone, not for me.
Yeah.
Like, PewDiePie's been a millionaire for a number of years now, but I mean, that you have to be top gravy, basically. Like, if you had 1 million subs 5 years ago, I don't know if you're making that much. Like, I don't know. I don't know. But the defining point was, I did well through college. I did like enough to pass it. And then because how I've said to you before that back in the day I just wanted to be famous.
Yeah.
Now it's completely different, which we might get onto later. But I hands on my heart don't care now. I literally said to Westy on Saturday, I was outside the pub and a couple of lads come up and asked for a picture, and he was like, "I don't know how you can do that." And Spencer Owen said this in a video a few weeks back. And Spencer, if you're listening, I completely related to what you're saying. I'm at the perfect level now. The perfect level. Like, if we walk through London all day, one person might say something, two people.
Yeah.
In Norwich, obviously, it's completely different. But if it went to like Ed Sheeran level, I would hate my
Too
life.
much.
Yeah, I'd hate my life. And what I'm trying to say is, so back then, I did want to just be famous for being famous' sake. It was probably before I got into Gervais and learnt a lot of his morals and whatnot. And then 2 weeks before college, a couple of months before college, I'd applied for Big Brother. And 2 weeks before college, I got told that I was going in. I went in the house, obviously, as a guinea pig, but I didn't know that. They didn't tell me that during the application. They said, you will be needed to do this time. So I said to my college tutor, Cara, she's a lovely woman. I said, look, what do I do? Because I can't do my exams if I go. And she went, are you kind of happy doing YouTube? I was like, yeah. She went, well, what are you getting this course for? Like, if you're already on the cusp of doing
something,
what you want to do. So that was kind of the defining moment. The fact that I fucked off my media grades to go in Big Brother, not the best decision in the world. But when I come out, YouTube sort of picked up a bit more, and yeah,
That's good.
the rest was history.
Based on the famous part that you just mentioned, how did it feel the first ever time someone asked you or recognised you in public? Do you remember it?
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah, it was the best feeling ever. It still is the best feeling ever. Like, sometimes you have to remove yourself from the situation and realise how mad this is, this whole world that we're in is. But it was in Primark in Norwich.
Classy.
And it was just before I was due to go to the festival. And I remember at the time I really liked Bruno Mars, and me and my mates were going to go watch Bruno Mars, and the Lazy song had just come out. So we went to, embarrassingly, we went to Primark to get 4 monkey onesies, because in the video I think he's with monkeys.
Monkeys, yeah.
And some mum came up to me and was like, my daughter really likes your YouTube videos. And I was buzzing. I was probably trying to hide a grin. And she was like, can she have a signature? So it's like, to this day, it's probably still the only time I've ever given an autograph, apart from Summer in the City and whatnot. But I was like, yeah, sure. And the best feeling is with being recognised, is at the start, maybe it was a bit of an ego thing. And it's like, oh, yeah, look at me, I'm this, I'm that. Now it's not that at all, because I have to I always try and preface things by saying, like, not in an arrogant way. I think we have to leave that statement at the door now, is because I'm talking about myself. So I'll just tell you honestly how I feel about it. But, like, it's never an ego thing now. Often when people come up, if anything, I'm more anxious to meet them, because I'm not that great meeting new people. But the best thing about it is it's a constant pat on the back that I'm doing something right. And I love the reaction of, like, people that are closest to me. So, like, friends, family. I've been out and, like, my dad's seen me get pictures and that, and, like, it's always their reaction. I care more about what they think of it than what I think of it. It's not that I've become numb to it, because obviously I just said sometimes I have to remove myself and realise how cool it is again. But it's a moment to be proud whenever someone comes over and say nice things.
Yeah, I found that's also quite a good moment to realise who your real friends are as well. Because I know you've had certain friends over the years who have seen that and
hated it.
It was at that, but through jealousy.
Yeah. It was at that festival. So I said we were going to V Festival because it all happened pretty quickly. Obviously, the Zoella Advent Calendar video put my channel to the next level. But before that V Festival, when that girl asked me in Primark for that autograph, I think it was around the time when that YouTube featured my video that was at college, 25 Things Everybody Hates Part 2 or something. And so she's asked me in Primark. Everyone's like, even the jealous guy who I know you're talking about was a bit like, it's pretty cool, whatever. Then we go to V Festival that summer, and because it was just an accumulation of young people, I think I got asked like 15, 20 times for a picture at that festival, which is like mental if you think of the numbers back then. And he hated it. I had two of my best mates back then. Was a guy called Westy, who I'm still mates with now, and a guy called Mark, who I'm still mates with now. And this other guy, this jealous guy.
Yeah.
And I remember these girls came over and they asked for a picture, and Westy and Mark were like, that is so fucking cool. And they're like, what the fuck? They're like, how has this happened? What the hell? And my other mate was like, this is fucking stupid. Like, I'm not wasting my festival time for this. It took about 30 seconds to get a picture.
That's not a long thing.
Yeah, so there's that. But I also now I get proud when me and you get asked for pictures and stuff because of what we've built here.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just, I've always been somebody that likes to do stuff with people that I care about. Like,
yeah, you've tried quite a lot
yeah,
up to this point.
yeah, of course. But you have to go through a few to find the golden ones.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like, and we have this running joke on Happy Hour that obviously I get rid of co-hosts all the time. We've had Alex, right? And Alex is still my mate today. The reason that he's not on here is we've gone over before. But the main reason, if we boil it all down, is because originally this was going to be a YouTube drama show, and I soon discovered that I didn't care about the drama that much.
Yeah.
So that's all that was. And then we had Jordan on, who we got on like a house on fire for the first 6 months of our friendship. He moved into my apartment, and the issue is when you live with someone and you're in a close, confined space with someone, you rub each other up the wrong way. You irritate each other.
Yeah.
He irritated me. I irritated him. Does that mean I dislike him now? No, it doesn't. But like, it got to the point where we were doing the show, and it was almost in a weird way, because I love him as a mate. I love you as a mate, right? He did nothing wrong to leave the show. But what it was, when you lose a spark,
Yeah.
it's that. And I was watching the episodes back,
And something's gone.
something's gone. And what the people didn't see, what people think that, I'm a dictator. Like, he's done one thing to irritate you and he's gone. No, that's not the case. That I wanted him on the show. I've said this the other day to Alfie, right? We've had people fill in as guest hosts. Robbie, Alfie, Fiona, Alex has probably been back on the odd occasion and stuff like that. Jordan was a better host than any of them, right? Was a better host. He knew what he was doing. But it got to the point where we'd meet up, but he'd be spending time at his girlfriend's. He wouldn't be at the house anymore. We'd meet up here, and we'd be out there, and we'd be like, all right. They go, all right. And there wouldn't be nothing else said. None of us could really pinpoint what had gone on. But from being like you're with each other all the time, little things add up and become bigger things. Like some of the things that he did to like irritate me and I did to irritate him, we've probably done to each other before. But because we can just leave and go home,
we're not stuck
it doesn't
with each
matter.
other.
And then we get home, we're like, all right, mate, get on Fall Guys. It's completely different. It was like a blessing and a curse, him moving in. So to turn up and go, all right, yeah, and then come in here and go, hello guys and welcome back to JaackMaate's Happy Hour. I'm here with Duty Rhino, hey, like that. It was like I felt fake doing it, and I can't sit in a room every week if I felt fake. So what I said to Jordan, the statement was completely true as well. I didn't want any shit like Alex. Did Jordan want to go? No, it's a source of income, and he's getting to meet YouTubers he perhaps wouldn't otherwise like to meet, wouldn't otherwise get to meet, I should say. So did he want to go? No. Was it more my decision? Of course it was more my decision, right? Of course it was. But it was to try and protect the friendship. Now, obviously, when that happened, I put out saying we're going to focus on a friendship. Then lockdown happened.
Yeah.
A global pandemic happened where I couldn't physically see Jordan for 5 months or so. I didn't message him. He didn't message me. Now, I don't know if I pissed him off because of everything, but I thought the way in which we left it was just as mates going like, I remember I spoke to him the day when we decided we weren't going to do it anymore, and he was like, I love you, mate. I was like, I love you too, mate. And then that was it. So it's like this weird kind of like, everyone online's going, do they hate each other? And I'm like, no. Like, I don't. Like, and then I'm like, does he hate me? And I'm thinking, like, I'm saying to Fiona, has he said anything about me on a stream? Like, I thought we'd tried to do this as adult as we could. And then fast forward 6 months, I messaged him and I could see he was putting like up the atma on his Twitter. And I was like, I read between the lines, he's doing another podcast. So I messaged him, was like, good luck with the podcast, because I want nothing more than for him to succeed.
Yeah, of course.
I dedicated a year of my life to trying to push his channel out. Like, if I don't want to just be like, oh, praises me, because I've got a lot of flaws, but ultimately, I got rid of Alex to get Jordan in. Now, financially, right? Or business in a business mindset
It doesn't make sense.
does not make sense, yeah? But it's because obviously the format of the show changed, which we got on with, but also me and Jordan really got on. Do you know what I mean? So I spent a year I said to Jordan when I met him, I was like, right, you got to do a year of saying yes to every opportunity that comes your way. Because that's what I did back in the day. And it found me the foundations to grow from. So I spent a year helping him and stuff. And then that's why I wasn't too, like, I didn't feel like I was throwing him out in a fucking cold alleyway by going, you're not coming on the podcast anymore. He's welcome on again whenever he wants to do whatever he wants. So that made it easier. The fact that, okay, I've given him a good push now. And then we went our separate ways and I wish him nothing but the best. I messaged him going, good luck with your podcast, mate. This was a couple of months ago. He was like, wow, thanks, mate. I was like, if you want to come on and promote your podcast, come on. And I think he was taken a bit back by that because he was like, can I call you? So I was like, yeah, call me. That was the first time I'd heard, it sounds like a fucking romantic novel, but it was the first time I'd heard his voice in about 8 months. This is someone that I used to see every single day. And he was just like, mate, like, I don't know what the fuck happened. I was like, no, I don't know either. And then he was like, I should have messaged you. And I went, well, I should have messaged you. There's just been a global pandemic. Like,
I think also the thing that made that difficult is the viewers, the listeners. Because like even to this day, there's still comments constantly, but those comments could be read in a way that one of you might perceive badly. So Jordan might have read something from a viewer or a listener, and he's going, "Oh, yeah, it's just brought it all up again."
Well, you know me. You're on the receiving side of this all the time. I make jokes about the most uncomfortable things because that's how I deal with stuff. We talk about my mum being an alcoholic. I make jokes about it all the time. I've given Jordan a lot of praise there because he is a great person. He didn't do anything wrong. But I will say two flaws that made me kind of see the cracks in the foundation start to go. One, I knew it was clear from the start that he didn't ever really love you. Like it's awkward. I don't know if you want it in the podcast or not.
No, I don't mind.
But I'm just
I can't say anything about it.
We should get it all out in the open, yeah? I don't know if it was because of how close we were and then kind of like Jordan came in. I don't know if that was a weird dynamic, but Jordan was never, and he might be open and honest as I am now, and he might say the same thing. This is not, again, a bad trait, but this is the God's honest truth. He was never 100% sold on you. Now, we did the show way before he came in, right? And it was under the premise that like if we have like a 2-man or 2-woman guest come in, that one of you, based on who I thought was
going to be better for the episode,
the least best for that episode, would have to sit out. Yeah. But it soon became apparent that like if I asked him to sit out, I don't know if he felt comfortable with that, and he felt like I was trying to like insult him in some way, when I thought that was what the case was at the time. And he never moaned about it, so I don't want to seem like I'm bad mouthing him, but I know he wasn't 100% completely fond of you, and there was sometimes a little bit of friction. I remember years ago when I said I went through that weird stage where I questioned your intentions, and I was like, oh, you do the self-deprecating stuff, which I find funny now, but it took me a long time to warm to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't think Jordan got over that. So when Jordan's like, oh God, that's irritating, that's this, that's that, I'm like, well, we're meant to be a free dynamic. So it didn't work. So there was that. And then, and then there was another. So that's just me saying if I have to pick something for why I thought the podcast would be better without him, because that's what people are ultimately going to be thinking. If he was so great, like you say, why is he not still here?
Yeah,
well, the dynamic changed.
Yeah, it felt uncomfortable at times,
and I know you felt uncomfortable about it. And I also just want to take a moment to say, like, I don't owe you this, but I will say, you knew. Let's get it all out on the open here. You knew that you were getting uncomfortable vibes from Jordan, right? You knew that he probably didn't like you that much, and you never ever once told me to get rid of him. You never ever once. You know how influential you are on me. If you say, oh, we don't, say I book James Acaster and you go for some random I'm picking someone out of the air here, right? Because I know you love James Acaster. But imagine you go, Jack, I really don't want him on. Then I'll listen to you, and the chances are we probably won't have him on then, because I'm not going to do something that makes you uncomfortable. You could have gone to me 3 months before. It makes me really uncomfortable. And even if in that moment in my life, it was like, right, who is my better mate out of these two? You have been here since the start. You're the foundations of the podcast. Without you, it's not happy hour. It's not the same.
Yeah.
It can't be happy hour without me. It can't be happy hour without you. You could have easily gone, oh, I don't feel comfortable. You could have given me an ultimatum and gone, it's either him or me, and you couldn't have been 100% sure which way I'd have gone. Like, it would have been a coin flip for you. You never said that. You never badmouthed him. You only just went, I know he doesn't like me. So then when I knew the cracks were there, it made it awkward. When he and me, when we started having that weird, like I say, would be outside, right? Yep, cool, and then do it. That's when I was like, maybe it's time to just move this along. And that's where we are. And that's the first time I've spoken about that.
Didn't expect to go there at all.
No. But I wish him all the best. He has smashed his YouTube channel since we've been doing stuff. I haven't shouted him out, put him in a video thumbnail, any of that. And he's gone from strength to strength. So I wish him all the best. I'm sure he'll be sat in this room again in the future. And yeah, let's move on.
Let's go back to the episode.
Yeah. And it's just weird because like there's them two hosts, that's like there's been both perfectly valid reasons for both. And people, obviously I understand why people meme it, but I don't really get it. I don't get it that much because like, when you know it from the inside.
I think it'd be nice for the comments to stop. I'd say.
Well, maybe once we post this clip,
it will.
Where's Doody? He's doing just fine. He's doing absolutely fine. He's probably streaming. Go and watch his Twitch or something.
But the other thing with that is that it can't be that comfortable for him.
No,
either.
He knew it. He wasn't comfortable at the end either. He knew it.
I mean, even to this day, like someone commented on my Instagram that had nothing to do with him, saying, "Oh, why is Jordan?" And I was like, surely him opening his phone and seeing that is a bit like, why is someone commenting that on Stevie's post? Like, it's so
must be irritating.
Like, it's irritating for us.
Yeah,
because it's been spoken about already.
Yeah,
it must be irritating for him, especially since he's now doing other stuff.
Yeah,
and he seems happy and he's doing well.
Yeah,
like it just. Hopefully, it will all end.
I messaged him the other day and said, I'm back. This was after Bristol. I said, I'm back in Norwich now if you want to do anything at any point. Like, it's not the end of the world. And if people comment, where's Jordan, where's Doody? Like, fair enough if you want to meme it. You can meme it at the fuck you want. I mean my bad relationship with my own mum. But also be aware that I might just go, fuck off, mate. Because I'm not bothered. Yeah. And people read between the lines with that as well. Because if they go, where's Jordan? I go, shut the fuck up. Like, they go, oh, you must really hate him. It's like, no, I'm just bored of the comments.
And to add to the final bit about mine and his relationship, even to this day now, if you wanted to get him on for a conspiracies episode,
fine,
cool, it'll be a good episode. I know it will.
Yeah.
And I openly said, if you were going to get the guy from Don Broco on, get Jordan in. It'll be a better episode.
Yeah.
You don't need me for an episode I know nothing about him, which is most of episodes. But Jordan will make that episode much better.
Yeah.
And I'd be happy to take a step aside and let him come in for that.
Yeah, exactly.
So from my end, and I'm sure by this point, we don't care.
Have you spoke to him since we did the podcast?
Not once.
Not once.
Not a word.
I couldn't be the middleman in that, and I know I've said what I need to say on the matter, but I couldn't be the middleman in that, and I've given you both your credit that you deserve, and it was just a weird mix-up of mix mash. Let's move on.
I think we're just two very different people.
For sure.
Let's go back to your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Forgot what it was now after all that.
Good,
that. Doody, mate.
Something I actually can't think back to. Your channel was, looking back at it now, quite a questionable channel to blow up.
Yeah.
Who was the first person you slagged off? Or was it the collective? Because obviously you started with your whole 25 things videos.
Yeah.
But can you remember the defining moment? In my mind, I have Cher Lloyd.
Yep, you're probably right.
So that would be like the big...
Cher Lloyd, Frankie Kokoza. I started slagging off. I'll tell you, my granddad was the first one who inadvertently made me slag something off. Because I was doing videos like, what can you do, banana? And then he went, look at this. And he gave me the newspaper. And it's like The Sun or something. And it said, free tin of corned beef for every listener. And he made me laugh. I can't even remember what he said, but it was just him going on a rant, going, what the fuck do I want a can of fucking tin beef for? Paper costs more than the fucking tin beef does, and I just remember finding that funny. So I literally took the paper, went home, and I made a video going, why are they giving away? It was a 60-second video. Like, why are they giving away tin beef? And I got quite angry in the video, and people liked it. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm a ranter then, and that's what I did. And when the YouTube channel first started, I really sold my channel around rants. I was like,
massively,
I know now I've got like rank bank, but they're more comical. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like back then I was like, oh, it fucking pisses me off. Cher Lloyd, Frankie Kokoza. I used to call him Frankie Coke up the noser, which was great.
At least that was a joke.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of the side where you're slagging people off, you didn't necessarily tell jokes to make it funny.
No, and I went a bit far.
It was the personality that was the funny thing. Because it's
Yeah.
an act. JaackMaate isn't Jack Dean.
No.
Well, at least JaackMaate back then, at least, was
No.
just a character.
Now the lines are kind of blurred because sometimes I'll say to Fiona, like, you know how you are when you're just with your partner, you just be stupid.
Yeah.
I might go like, hey, like, hey, bitch, get JaackMaate a cup of tea over here, yeah, like that, and she'll go, who the fuck's JaackMaate? And she'll be like, you're not JaackMaate, and I'll be like, no, you're right, I'm not JaackMaate. if people like sort it, but the lines are blurred now because this is JaackMate's happy hour. So I've learnt to be myself, and I think people really buy into that. That's probably why we get more views on my main channel now. But people really buy into that, and that is a great honour that people want to subscribe for me.
Yeah.
I will everything I say in this room, I believe, unless I'm clearly joking about something. Do you know what I mean? Like I can
I was
stand.
gonna say, I took a lot to heart just then.
No, but I mean, like I can stand behind the reasons why I do things and say things. But on the YouTube channel, if I'm being completely honest, do I really want to do a rank bank about Bryce Hall? Not really. Is that my passion? Now, I don't want to lose a lot of the audience there by going, well, why is he doing it then? For money. That's the main reason, for money. Because I'm worried. I have this deep set worry that if I don't keep the main channel ticking over, I'm not going to have anything else. This podcast is the most fucking beautiful thing I've ever done. Like what we've managed to do, who we've managed to pull in, like where we are on the charts consistently, Spotify, all of this stuff, yeah, it came because I was JaackMaate. So I feel like if I don't have the main channel, I don't have this anymore. Do I have more love for the podcast than the main channel? Yes, 100% I do. Do I still love making main channel videos? Yeah, when they're the right videos. But
that's when they're right for you rather than for the audience.
So I feel like I'm kind of like just ticking a JaackMaate box every now and then, like Bryce Hall. Don't get me wrong. Please do not get this misconstrued. If you watch my Bryce Hall video, I mean every point in that video. I think he's a prick. He pissed on his fans. He's an idiot. It does irritate me. But if I had a choice, I probably wouldn't have done the video. Like, but it's just like I want to give the viewers, the fans, what they want. And luckily, a lot of them are absolutely lovely. And I'm not saying this to pander, but a lot of them will comment and go, "We can tell when you're happy when you're making a video,"
Yeah.
and they can. Now, the Bryce Hall one is a weird one, and I don't want to backtrack. I was happy making that video. I enjoyed making the video. Fiona watched it last night. She laughed a lot, and it gave me a little dopamine hit, which I've not had in a while. But what I'm trying to boil it down to, whereas if I could, this podcast would be my everything. Like, I feel like I'm funnier in the podcast. Like, I put more effort into it and whatnot. But yeah, I've kind of gone off piece, so I forgot what your question was. But
it was just about the difference between JaackMaate and Jack Dean.
Yeah, now the lines are very blurred because it would have been Jack Dean was the quiet kid that goes to college and doesn't tell anyone, and JaackMaate would be the person that gets online and go, Alfie Deyes is a cunt for no reason other than he's a cunt. Whereas now, because I bring JaackMaate, do you know what I'm trying to say? This is JaackMate's happy hour, but I am me. Like this is me.
2020 JaackMaate.
Yeah.
So the character of JaackMaate is no longer 2013, 2014 JaackMaate.
No, he's a different person, yeah.
So back then, we'll go on that. So 2013, 2014, you used to label yourself quite often as the anti-YouTuber.
Yeah, can't do that anymore.
Do you believe that you were an anti-YouTuber whilst being a YouTuber?
Yeah, 100%, because I wanted to be like Alfie Deyes. I wanted to be Marcus Butler. I wanted to fucking hang around with them, and then I'd go to... It was all about the times when I'd see them at YouTube events and realise that I don't know what they're like now. I've been told by a lot of people that I respect that they're lovely people now. So I can't judge them as people now. But back in the day, I'd see them walking about. This is when the money started coming in, walking about. The first thing they'd say to someone at an event, "How many subs you on?" And I'd be taken back. Like, hang on. I genuinely just want to be your mate because I think you're cool because I've always wanted to be a YouTuber and you're a YouTuber and you're coming over and you're looking at me like I'm a piece of shit because I've only got 10 subscribers. I thought you were cool. I thought you was interesting. I thought you had a bit about you. So then when you see that enough times, there was two things. A part of it was jealousy. It was like, why am I not getting the subscribers that Alfie Deyes is getting? Why have I not got this new car? Why am I not going on a tour with Fun for Louis in a van? Like all of this stuff, yeah? But there was a big part of it where I can't discredit myself. The biggest part of it and the bit that I stand with today is, no, actually, I don't want to be like that.
No.
I don't want to be like that. I've always had friends that are just normal people.
Outside of that world.
Yeah, I don't want to be like... Alex would come in here and he'd be talking like, oh, Mimula said this, or Inaba said this. And it was almost like, hang on, Mimula... And do you mean, let me get this right, do you mean George and fucking, what's Inaba? Fraser? Do you mean George and Fraser? Because it was like, you're mixed up. You're in the YouTube world, mate. Like, I don't want to live in the YouTube world. I'll come here, I'll speak to... We speak to, like, Bazinga, yeah? But really, when we leave this room and we're chatting to him, I like him more outside of this room.
Ethan.
As Ethan, as I do when I chat to him here. Everyone's playing the game and we're all kind of parts of this big, larger puzzle. But I like to see people as for real people. And I find it weird because you were asking me, the question was...
anti-YouTuber.
Anti-YouTuber. Am I an anti-YouTuber anymore? No. I'm a YouTuber. There's no way of getting around that. We host a YouTube podcast. But I can't claim to be an anti-YouTuber anymore because I don't hate enough YouTubers. I've grown to just mature to the point where it's like...
Yeah, you just don't care enough.
I don't care enough.
Because it is irrelevant.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned,
And I've proven it because, like I've said this before, but James Charles, got into that big controversy last year before, whenever it was, with Tatty.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh, Jack, do a video on this, it'll bang. Yeah, it probably would bang. To this day, I can't tell you what the James Charles beef was because I didn't care. It got to the point where Alex would come in and we'd go, right, Alex, what's Jake Paul done then? And he'd just sit and he'd talk and he was great at it. That's his forte. But my brain used to switch off because I'd be like, I don't give a shit about this. So
Yeah.
I'm not an anti-YouTuber. I'm still very much invested in YouTube. I watch more YouTubers than most do, but it's only because I need to have a bit of a finger on the pulse, need to know what's going on.
Yeah.
And stuff. But anti-YouTuber, no, not at all really. I also hate the way in which the word YouTuber has gone. I genuinely don't think there's a lot of honest people on the platform.
YouTuber isn't really used anymore, is it? It's all content creators now.
Content creators, yeah. Brilliant.
Still a YouTuber.
Influencer.
But it's because I got TikTok as well, so
Yeah,
not
yeah,
technically
yeah.
just a YouTuber.
Oh, let's tick every box. Yeah, it is a weird one. I can't speak for everyone. The majority of people that are in this line of work are in it for the money. And I just happen to have a podcast that gives me money, but I fucking love doing it, right?
Yeah.
My main channel gives me just as much, if not more money, but the proof is in the pudding. I don't upload there because I'm not super... I don't upload there as regular because I'm not that bothered. WillNE, right? We've had our differences in the past. He's somebody that I look up to. I respect. He knows the YouTube game inside out. And ultimately, I think he's really, really funny. And every time I've met him, he's been an absolutely top guy. Top guy. The reason why all that beef come about, and I don't want to dig up old stuff, because I've said it until I'm blue in the face,
Yeah.
but this sums up everything, right? He's a lovely, funny guy, and when we've been on the podcast and he's had a few drinks, he's very witty, and he can cuss people up in a way in which I enjoy. I think it's funny.
Yeah.
He can pick the flaws out of people. He doesn't do it on his YouTube channel now, because he's casting a larger net. Like his channel's a bit... I know he does like the Belle Delphine stuff and the eye tracker to not look at the boobs, but really it's a bit of a CBBC channel, I think.
Yeah,
right?
he doesn't do what he used to do.
He doesn't. Memulous, right? Used to cuss people up. He gained a big following from it. At the end, he goes, by the way, guys, I don't want you to go over and give this hate any channel. That's bollocks. That's fucking... You've just spent 15 minutes, usually 10, over the 1 minute, like the second one. And And this isn't me causing any beef. I like these guys. I admire them, right? They're doing more in the space than perhaps I am. But you can't do a 10-minute video calling someone out and then go, and to cover your own back, go, oh, by the way, guys, don't give him any hate. Put that at the start then. And even if he has put it in the start, if you really care about him that much, you wouldn't make the video about him.
Yeah.
It's counterproductive. Will has adapted his channel and moved on in a great way. And he's transitioned better than I could ever do.
Yeah, because you're doing the same thing, essentially, but you're
But this is what hurt me a bit, and I think it did hurt me. I can't pretend to be the big, "Whoa, look at me, I'm JaackMaate, I don't care." This is what hurt me, and this is why I snapped back to that infamous comment about have a day off, mate. Why that hurt me so much, and I know I've said it, but this is the right time and place to get this all out. I'm trying to make a living doing what he was doing. And he was bullying kids, pretty much, right?
In the old days.
I wouldn't say it was bullying. I found it funny, and there was a comical element to it. But the average, imagine the mainstream media looking at that. Well, he's taking the piss out of kids, right? So, and then he started taking the piss out of other YouTubers, and then he realised, actually, this isn't what I want to do. And full fucking credit to him for just going, no, this isn't what I want to do anymore. And he successfully made that transition, and I admire that. But then it was almost like he was trying to call me out
for something he used to
do. Something he used to do. And like now, it's hard for me to call out people like Kavos, although I think I disagree with a lot of what he say. I think I was quite respectful about him in the one with Christian.
Yes, you were.
I'd like to think so, because although I don't agree necessarily with him just calling out everyone, I understand that that's what I used to do.
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah,
so
I was there. Yeah, so I can't go to. I'd sometimes, and I get this is exactly the same point that I just made about Will. I do sometimes look at Kavos and I'm like, chill out a bit, mate. Fucking hell. Which is what Will would have thought to me, but to put it publicly, it was a bit like, I don't get it. So now I've got nothing but praise for him. Honestly, I think they're brilliant. I think Will's brilliant, I should say. But yeah, it was just a bit of a weird time, a bit of a transitional period where I was just biting to people that would say things that would strike a chord.
Yeah, Will's channel has changed massively. And I used to love his This Week on the Internet stuff, and I still quite enjoy his stuff now, which is strange for me to say, not because it's him.
Yeah.
I don't watch YouTube.
Yeah.
But if I see a WillNE video's gone up, I probably will watch it.
Yeah. For his genre, he is the best at it.
Yeah.
He's created that genre. I've tried to copy elements to it. Like when Belle Delphine buys him a car, I'm there going, fucking hell, buy me a car. Because look at the content. It's great. It is good content. E-Boys, I think's naff. It's not for me. I was saying this to Fiona on the way up, right? Maybe we can. I'll give you my opinion on this, because I think we can call this Jack opens up on the Will.
It's going to make a good clip. I did put a question in about the E-Boys, because I know you've mentioned to me that you don't enjoy their content.
Yeah, and this is because individually they might all be great people, right? And as I just said, Will is someone that I look up to. So, but this is the difference now, and this says more about me than it says about their channel. That was the kind of stuff where, like, if Alfie Deyes was going like, we're going to do a video where we sign up to OnlyFans, whatever. I don't know. I haven't watched it, because now this is the difference. One, I don't watch stuff I don't like, whereas before I'd watch it purposely to get angry at it. And two, I'm aware now that I'm not the demographic. So, you know, because I find that as a 4, they're very memey, right? Yeah. Fuck me, one's called Memulous, yeah? But like E-Boys, I'm a 27-year-old bloke, yeah? I don't know what an E-Boy is. I had to ask Kieran Carlin, which is coming out next week, I asked him who Belle Delphine was. I know a bit, but I don't know enough, yeah? They play on that kind of culture of the e-girl, e-boy, cam girl, like all of this kind of like silly stuff, which is completely and utterly fine. It's fine. When I say I don't like their content, that's not me beefing them. They smash views. They smash numbers. Alex has been called out numerous times by loads of people in the community. He's still got such a loyal fan base. That must tell you about their content, of who they're managing to get on side. You can't knock them for that. But that's the difference in JaackMaate now. I don't care, because it's like, it's not aimed at me. I feel bad for cussing up Alfie Deyes' like content, like, and actually getting angry at how shit it was. Is that me saying that I don't think it was shit? No, I'd think it was shit, but I'm also aware it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like you going to watch the Teletubbies and getting angry, but you're not a 3-year-old child.
Yeah.
So it's mental.
Yeah.
So yeah, if the E-Boys content isn't for you,
yeah,
then that's fine.
But this is why I've actively spoken to my mates. Like, oh, it's not for me. Like, we should be in a domain now where people can honestly give their opinions on things without instantly thinking it's beef. Like, yeah. I'm pretty sure that WillNE doesn't like my content. Does that mean I would respect him any less? No, not at all, right? I dislike the E-Boys content. I think it's nothing content. Does that mean I dislike them as a 4? No. Or them individually. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm trying to say? No. So that's where I am now. I'm trying to call people out. If I'm sure, guys, like anyone, yeah, you can find flaws in a lot. We say a lot of things in this room, in the confines of this room. Sometimes I forget that people are going to hear this. I think I'm just talking to you, right?
Yeah.
You can find flaws in most things I say, most things that anyone say if you look hard enough. But go on my channel and have a look at the last 10, 15 people I've called out. I guarantee they've done actually problematic things. Bryce Hall, pissed on his fans, has beat up his mate. Fucking COVID-19 parties, prick, yeah? Jeremy Lynch, well, it goes without saying what that cunt's
There's
done.
not
Yeah?
much to say there.
And people forget that it's often a lot of the stories I know about him offline that's making me want to do this content, not always stuff you see online. You got loads. You got and even if they haven't done problematic things, because I do want to cover myself by saying this, because you got Morgs.
Yeah.
He's not really done anything problematic, right? But I'm not. I hope I'm not actually that harsh about Morgs. I'm just.
Well, no,
more,
you speak to him occasionally.
Yeah,
so
I'm cool.
You're clearly in a position that
I get what he's trying to do. I get what he's trying to do, but comedy is now my main focus and my main point. Would I take back the Zoella advent calendar? Not in a million years. It's still one of the funniest videos I've ever made. I still stand by it 100%, and that's why I keep regurgitating the same jokes, because it's almost a meme of itself at this point. Would I take back the Alfie Deyes £1 video? No, because I think it was inconsiderate and out of touch, and I stand by it. Would I take back the times when I've gone, oh, Alfie's videos are fucking shit? Yeah. Because they're not for me.
Yeah.
That's like me turning on Postman Pat or Bob the Builder and going, this is fucking shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a kid.
Yeah, but it doesn't even necessarily have to not be for you. You can dislike something regardless.
Yeah.
That's like, I don't like The Joker as a film that much.
No.
You love it.
Mm.
And it's clearly designed, or like it's meant to be for an audience like me as well.
Yeah.
I just don't have to like something.
No, exactly.
So I don't think that's the issue with the beef side of things. It's like,
Yeah.
you're allowed to dislike something.
Yeah.
And then I hate like fans of music, like the 1975 fans. I know I hate Matty Healy anyway, but I've hated it when like they just won't admit when a song's bad. No band can do 100% good songs.
No.
Why pretend that everything's good?
Yeah.
I know you don't like some of your content. I probably don't like some of the videos you've put out.
Yeah.
And I'll normally tell you if there's certain bits I'm a bit like, oh, maybe not.
Yeah.
Like, you can't like everything.
No.
But it doesn't mean I hate you.
Yeah.
There's no beef there at all.
But this is what brings me back to this podcast. We meet up every week. We give our opinions. If we stop giving... I'm quite an outspoken person anyway. If I stop giving my opinions on things, then the podcast becomes a lesser product. This is the E-Boys analogy that I keep using. It sounds like I despise them. I don't, but they're the perfect
You're trying
channel.
to make this hit 8 minutes.
Yeah, they're the perfect channel because the underlying statement there is they're for people who individually I'm fine with, but the content I don't like. So what I'm saying is, because we give our opinions all the time, I want to be able to come in and go, oh, I think that's a load of shit, mate. That's not me trying to influence anyone else, and that's not me trying to cause any beef. Beef's going to come from this. Beef's not from this, but
the beef would be because of the listeners.
Yeah, from the listeners. So when you watch my stuff, fair and like I've just called out Bryce Hall. I'm not going to say don't give him any shit. I literally say in the video, can we stop making pricks like this famous? He is a prick. Feel free to tell him he's a prick, right? I don't want to do the memeless thing of going, oh, like don't do that because it's hypocritical kind of thing. I wouldn't make the video if not. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to come in here with my best pals and give my honest opinion on things that people want to hear about. If that offends somebody, like WillNE or the E-Boys or PewDiePie or KSI, if that offends them, then I'm sorry. Do I want beef with these big... No, I don't. I admire a lot of them more than you know. But I'm going to give you my fucking opinion on them. And that's that.
I've got a question that I think people will want to hear, and it's kind of based on all this. So you've just spoken about WillNE, I'm Alex, iNabba. When Joe Weller was on here, he said that you were an influence behind Internet Melts.
Yeah.
Based on that content you made back then, would you say you started the commentary community in a way?
I think so more than people realise, yeah. Yeah,
you were the original, because I can't think of anyone around your days.
When I was doing it, yeah, I remember saying to my dad that I found a niche. I was like, I have found a niche here with insulting people online. Brilliant. You can blame every troll that's ever existed on me. But I was like, with like commentary and stuff, and like in the way in which Joe's referring to with the internet melts, I think I found that. Obviously, I didn't find the niche, but I think I was one of the first wave of people to do it. And what I was going to say, and I bit my tongue a little bit about WillNE's Twatty. I don't know. I don't know if he'd ever admit this, but I reckon there's a bit of JaackMaate in there. I think.
Yeah, it was a mix of that and internet melts. It was you're just reacting to stuff on the internet.
In fact, I think when Will came on my first podcast with Tom Norris, I'm 90% sure that Will mentioned me and Joe as like not inspirations for his channel, but like that he took bits of that in his channel.
I'm obviously a big fan of your videos, and from watching them, I feel like I've learned a lot from when I react to videos. I'm very conscious of like...
It's quite funny because I probably took quite a lot from you earlier in the other way. Right. And then the two people I really found were you and Joe, but I don't know, I find... So that was early days, and then just moved from that, but I think my content probably stems a lot from more what you did than... A lot of people compare it to Joe, but I don't think it's too much. Honestly, like I can see the similarities, but the inspiration, I probably wasn't so much.
You're the founding father of commentary.
yeah.
I'm putting words
That's
in
exactly
your mouth
what
now.
I said, yeah.
Do you regret being the possible reason for anyone on the channel on YouTube right now?
What do you mean?
There's a chance you're the reason that someone's making videos.
What?
So Joe made internet melts because of you.
Yeah.
Is there anyone in the commentary community that you feel at fault for? So Kavos, for instance, he does your old videos.
No, I'm probably going to be arrogant enough to say that there probably is a bit of me in Kavos. Like I think Kavos probably did take a bit from me, but only because I'm the old cunt now that's been doing it a while. But to take an issue with something Kavos is to take fault for something Kavos is doing would show that I have an issue with something he's doing. And I don't have an issue with anything he's doing. I have an issue with some of the things that he said. But I think there's a place for people like Kavos. There's a place for people like me. There's a place for WillNE, but we all have our individual places. We're not all the same thing. So no, I don't think so. I think if somebody's got the wrong end of the stick, right, and people take it too far. If somebody becomes a commentary YouTuber, but they're not equipped with enough intellect, research, wit, or even desire to do that, because imagine if you just thought, "Oh, there's a lot of money in commentary, I'll do it." You're a cunt. You've no backstory in that. Like people, it's a bit dark. Don't know if this will make it in. It's a bit dark. People attacking Caroline Flack online, is disgusting, right? Is disgusting, regardless of what you think. Like, she had her faults as well with what she did with her partner.
Everyone does.
I got a lot of hate, didn't I, on my Love Island video after Caroline Flack passed away.
For the Lewis Capaldi joke.
For the Lewis Capaldi joke. I'm telling you now, I would make that joke again. Right? I would, because it's a joke. So Caroline Flack allegedly beat up a boyfriend. There was someone else on Love Island that said that Lewis Capaldi wrote "Somebody I Loved" about someone I loved, or whatever it's called, about her, right? So I went, "Oh, that's funny," because Caroline Flack's got a song written about her by Lewis Capaldi, "Bruises" by Lewis Capaldi. It's a joke on the fact that she hit her boyfriend, right?
Yeah.
Which she did. I think she did do. Like that's what was reported. Whether or not it's proven, I'm not too sure. There's a difference there between making a joke about a terrible situation, because bear in mind, at the time, I'm making a joke about somebody that's allegedly committed domestic abuse, right? And then obviously, tragically, she goes on because of what the mainstream media did in terms of hounding her every single day, which is completely different. And then idiots, because that's what they are, have gone, "Oh, you're part of the problem." No, I'm not. No, I'm not part of the problem. I never went, "Caroline Flack is a cunt." I never did that. I made a joke about her committing domestic abuse. Now, if we take that as a case study, you can never ever make a joke about anyone else again in case they go on to do something to themselves. Now, I hope I've said that as tastefully as I can. I hope I've said.
Yeah, I don't think you've said anything in a.
And I know people are going to take this the wrong way of me saying I would make that joke again. Of course, in the context of the matter, I wouldn't make it again. I wouldn't sit here and go, look, I just told you the joke to explain it for context. I wouldn't go, listen to this one, guys, in the pub because of what has happened, right? But what I'm saying is I fully back the joke. I fully back and that's what people. So when you say to me, do I feel at fault for anyone on YouTube? If I've inadvertently created trolls that aren't clever enough to think of actual jokes and who just spew fucking putrid hate for the sake of it, then one, I can never be sure that I created that. But in a metaphorical or theoretical world, like where you can prove it, then yeah, I don't want anyone to do that. I don't want anyone to do that.
A good example of that actually would be your JaackMaate roast and viewers. I know you saw my tweet about your hashtag. Your viewers took it upon themselves
stupid
to insult people.
So
that's your viewers. So I don't know whether you've necessarily created them, but in their minds, I guess they think they have the right to do it.
Well,
because these people have posted a picture for you to insult.
Well, you were right. Your tweet was bang on. Your tweet was 100% right. And this it's a stupid thing, but you can't, as somebody who creates stuff, as a broadcaster, as an entertainer, right? You can't worry too much about the idiots that you're going to affect. You can hope to affect people positively. Like I hope that what I'm saying now will affect people to go, I'll think about that in a different way now, and hopefully it will have a positive effect on them. But you can't worry about the idiots. So basically what you're referring to, I do a series on the channel called Roast My Viewers. I get people to submit their photos and I brutally roast them, right? And the only difference is, because I would never usually pick on someone's appearance, but that's the premise of the show. Send it in and you're signing kind of like an agreement for me to attack you, right? So when they put that picture on Twitter, they know that I'm possibly going to attack them. It's a two-way thing. They should also know that they're then going to be open to attacks from other people. That shouldn't be the case because they're sending it to me. But are they sending it to me privately? No, they're doing it publicly. But it is also on the other people like, sorry, mate, who are you? why are you calling this girl fat? Like, this isn't the deal,
that's
mate.
The thing as well. I guess if they were good jokes, fair enough. That, as we've just said, if a good joke is a joke,
that's
and
what
the person takes
it
as that. But I think the reason it annoyed me a bit is because I posted a picture of us for your roast.
Yeah.
And obviously I was going to get loads of people replying to it because it's us. I'm fine with that. I openly did that knowing it would come at me. But anyone else using that hashtag, the people who are replying to mine are people who also follow me. Or at least they know who I am because of you. But the people replying to these other people, they don't follow them. They've chosen to click on the hashtag, go through it, see a picture and go, I'm going to slag this random person off.
Then it's a bit weird, isn't it? It's a bit weird, but who am I to sit on? I'm going to have to sit on the fence for that one. One, they're posting the picture publicly, but also on the other hand, two, they shouldn't just be insulted by loads of other people online. But it's a weird one.
But it is your fault, so we'll move on.
I guess so, yeah. Fuck them.
I actually had loads of questions about the whole Cher Lloyd stuff and whatnot because Cher Lloyd, the video you did about her, got you on TV.
Yeah.
That must have been a weird experience back then.
Yeah, do you know who was on the TV show I was on?
Was it Ramesh?
Nah.
Who did you have? I remember there being quite a comedian.
It was a little-known comedian that no one had heard of at the time. It was Joe Lycett. Joe Lycett was on it, basically. And they wanted me to come on to talk about Cher Lloyd. I wouldn't dream of doing that now. Because it was like I was just insulting her and going, no, she's... I think...
You made a funny joke, though.
Was it funny?
You did the...
The wanking thing?
Yeah.
Was it funny?
Liked it.
They said, what do you think of Cher Lloyd? I said, I'm 18, yeah, I masturbate quite a lot, but even I wouldn't masturbate over it.
Actually, that's quite mean.
Yeah.
I remember laughing at it when I first saw it, but...
I think back in the day it was like a bit more fun. But Stevie, like I went in too far on Cher Lloyd, who wasn't really ever harming anyone. I just didn't like her music. Kind of done the same with Ellie Goulding in a way, but
well, you made jokes about her music and it turned into an actual beef.
Yeah, but it was never beef my end. Like, it's just funny. Like, she said she could beat me up.
Yeah,
like,
that's a weird reply for a famous singer.
It's funny, yeah. But with Cher Lloyd, I was being quite nasty about her. But even back in the day, it shows that I had some kind of moral compass because I made a video defending her when somebody threw piss at her on a festival.
Yeah.
But to this day, I think about it every now and then. And I'm not too sure where I see myself because it was quite hateful what I was doing. And then as soon as somebody took it physically, I had an issue with that. But surely I was part of the problem.
Yeah.
Just because I wasn't just because I physically wasn't throwing piss on her, I was kind of doing it online.
You were mentally throwing pisser.
Yeah. So I don't think I agree with that now. And they're the videos that I'd take back if I could.
But also the videos that gave you a stepping stone to your career. So taking it back could possibly mean no YouTube.
I'd still take it back. I have done so much more. I've uploaded over 1,000 videos, and I'll take back probably 5 of them.
Okay, that's good going.
Yeah, and especially in the last 5 years, like since I've been like 22, 23, I don't really think I've said much that I'd take back.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about something people care about?
If they've got 1 hour 20 into a fucking podcast I don't care about, then
Zoella.
oh god.
Would you say that you owe her your career?
No. But I owe that calendar everything. Do you know what I mean? I owe that fucking calendar everything. If she hadn't have uploaded that, I'd still be fucking on 200k sitting at home. It's funny because it's like a blessing and a curse, because did Zoella come down and go, guys, subscribe to JaackMaate, he's really funny, and then I get a million and then I get a million subscribers, in which case I'd have to sit here going, fair play, Zoe, you made me. She made that shit calendar. She was so out of touch. I took it upon myself to make the comedy video about it. I don't owe her my career, but I owe a large part of my channel to that terrible product.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say I owe Zoe a career, no. Zoe and Alfie definitely helped me more than anyone.
Most.
yeah, but not from their own accord. So I'll never go, thank you for that, guys. But thank you for making that calendar.
But at the same time, it's quite a strange moment for you, because in your interview with True Geordie, he mentioned that you could have rode a wave there.
Yeah.
That you didn't.
That stuck with me for a while, him saying that.
Why did you back away? It's a moment where you had everything going your way.
Yeah.
And you did a very JaackMaate video.
Yeah.
On that, and you could have continued to do more JaackMaate videos.
Yeah.
Didn't.
It comes down to having to care about the video. So I cared about the calendar because when I researched what was in it before it had come, so I knew opening them doors what was going to be in it. What was so funny to me, I will get onto that, but what was so funny to me about that calendar, if we can just get this to 8 minutes, that'd be great. What was so funny to me about about that calendar is just how bad it was, right? So I knew one of the doors was like a fluffy ball, yeah, and I knew the other one was a pen, which people clip out. A pen! But I never knew how bad it was. So I thought, like, when I read online, like, a gold-plated pen, I thought, still doesn't seem like 50 quid to me, but that's what, if it's a heavy ballpoint weighted pen, maybe, yeah. And then you open the door, and it's... I laugh now because I can't believe it. Like, it was like, it was like opening each door. It was like 12 doors. I'm opening each door going, that's 100k views. That's got to be 500,000 now, isn't it? And then, like, the fact that she gives you a pen and a pencil case, 2 separate doors. You got to have a pen for a day, unprotected. Tomorrow you can put it away. But so I guess what True Geordie was saying about that calendar video, because that blew up. Just to give you a bit of context. About 6 months before that, I was saying to Fee about how I might not be able to do YouTube again, because my goal for every... Do you remember what my goal was per video?
Not back then.
30k.
Oh, that's a low goal.
Per video. And me and my friend Tom Norris were doing a podcast, JaackMaate podcast, and I did an interview with Jimmy Conrad, who I love to bits, loveliest guy on YouTube. And I posted it, and I went on a night out, and it had been about 4 hours, and I was like, usually it'll be on about 25k, and I looked, and I can't remember, it was on like 3k. And I was like, shit, my channel's dead, it's gone. I uploaded that. And by the way, I filmed that video on a whim because I'd written a whole... How mad's this? I'm not a believer in fate, but it's weird how these things work out, yeah? I scripted it as a rant. I scripted the whole thing as a rant. Like me sat in my loft, in my shed, going, look how fucking terrible this is. A pen.
Without the calendar?
Without the calendar. No, sorry, I had the calendar, but it was like I was going to have the products and go, look, this is and tell you and deconstruct why it's a bad product.
So you weren't going to do it as a sketch, which essentially
yeah.
it was.
And then at the last minute, I thought, I'm going to do this. The idea was to do it in a style of how Zoella would do it about a product.
Yeah.
So today I've got these lovely candles. So I got my cousin Jamie to come down. We did it on a whim. Some of it was scripted, but probably less was scripted about that than most of my other videos. And then it all changed. And I was saying about 30k being my goal. I filmed it. I realise I get quite angry about it when I'm like,
when it's all in there, do you know what I mean?
and lob it in the fucking bin. And I launch it at my fucking window. And I edited the whole thing. I kept in the elements with Jamie speaking behind the camera because I thought his comments were funny. And I had it uploaded privately. And I went to the pub and I was with a couple of mates. And I said to him, I'm not sure if I'm going to upload it. Because bear in mind, I'd called them out before, but never to that extreme where I'm absolutely ripping. And I didn't know the legalities around slagging off a product like that.
Yeah.
And I had a few pints and I just posted it. And for the first 15 minutes, it was dead. It was dead. It probably got about 6-7 comments. And I was like, oh, my channel is really dead. And then over the space of the next hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, I think I went to sleep that night. It was on 200k. And I was like, 200k. 30k is my goal, 200k. And the thing that really changed for me, which I saw in that evening, was, people didn't like me. A lot of the community didn't like me. Some probably still don't. Most probably still don't. To this day, I'm shocked at how many influencers, content creators DM me that night. And we're like, that's class. That product's mental. So when people think JaackMaate, the big bad wolf, like calling out that calendar, you'll be surprised at how many people, even not, I don't want to say close to it, that's unfair, but like big YouTubers that have probably like collaborated and stuff like that. So it's like, you might think I was the big bad wolf for making a comedy sketch about a terrible product, but some of her mates are like even saying the same thing. So it's a bit of a weird one. Yeah.
But why didn't you ride the wave?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
It's going where you actually wanted to go.
Yeah, I did. Chooge already said that. It's weird you picked that out because I think about that a lot. But I think that's probably another reason to kind of pat myself on the back a little bit, like a little bit of a testament to me. Because although it was more views and more ad revenue and more subscribers than I could have ever dreamed of, it wasn't. That video was firmly what I wanted to do. Nothing else come up. What I thought was that interesting. Like if the James Charles stuff had happened 2 days later,
probably would have been able to do it.
No, I wouldn't.
Oh, really?
No, because I'm not. It's not a case of nothing. Sorry, it's not a case of nothing came up. Nothing came up that I cared about.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't do it. That's why I used to always think that's mad that like I'm Alex goes so and so. We need to stop. Like we need to stop this person. Must be stopped. We need to stop. It's like. He was doing it every 3 days at one point. Now, of course, get that ad revenue, boy. Secure that bag. Live it while you can. But I couldn't do it. Like I couldn't do it. I had to find it funny in myself to do it. And that's why 3 years on, I'm still making jokes about the same product because I still find it funny.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, since then, you've been very love-hate relationship with YouTube.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is from that moment?
Because of what we spoke about earlier.
Just because of not caring.
Because it's like, I know the audience subscribe to me for a certain reason. So when I make a video like calling out the psychics, again, something I feel passionately about, how much they rip people off. And I make a video where I'm like, this is a funny video. Like, I'm funny in this video. And it flops. And people are like, yeah, good video, mate. But Ollie White's just done a video with Saffron Barker. You should really check it out. I'm like, oh,
you don't want
to. Yeah, so I don't dislike my audience. They're there for a reason. They subscribe to a product, but I don't know if I can offer that product anymore. So I think it's very draining having pigeonholed myself.
Based on that, since then, and I think even now, you've been at points where you've debated just binning off JaackMaate.
Yeah.
What brings you back? Is it money?
Yeah. A lot of it's money. But then is it? Because I'm trying to be honest here. I'm trying to be honest and go and not shy away from the fact that I do it for money. But is it?
Because you get demonetized a lot.
Because 13 out of 15 of my last videos have been demonetized. But I think it's a trickle-down effect, like I said, whereas I have this weird thing where if I don't have JaackMaate, I don't have the podcast. And although, to be fair, although my videos have been demonetized, I do all right on the brand deals on there. So it is money, I guess. But I feel like I have to keep that flame burning to have all the other flames burning as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, I won't quit. What keeps me coming back is the money. And also, let's not lie, like, I love making people laugh. I love having an audience. I don't want to give that up. I don't want to be like, all respect to him, he's doing bigger and better well, not bigger, but he's doing better things. Charlie is so cool. Like, all these YouTubers that have built these huge online empires and then have just walked away from them. Fuck that. I love having an audience. I love having that. I wouldn't be as happy as I am today if I didn't have YouTube. So I don't want to give it up.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Going on the money side of things, I think is quite interesting because you've always been very open with how you feel about YouTubers taking brand deals and selling out.
Yeah.
So you were back then.
Yeah.
Strangely, I think you had a very good transition from not taking any brand deals to being able to and getting away with it.
Yeah.
Don't know if getting away with it's the right term.
Yeah.
But you weren't often called out for being a sellout, even though you'd called people out multiple times for being sellouts.
I get what you mean, but it's completely different because me and Fee were listening to a podcast on the way up here, literally on the road outside of this studio, and the guy goes, do you want to know about your future? Do you want to know about your love life? Well, all you need to do is sign up to CaliforniaPsychics.com. I used to be a skeptic, but now I'm a believer. And I thought, what the fuck? And then he goes, sign up now. Use the discount code blah blah blah, and you can get your first reading for $1 a minute. And after that, readings will vary between $4 a minute to $15 a minute. I was like, $150 a 10 minutes. Like, that's mad. And the reason why it's different, is I used to call YouTubers out for like taking shitty brand deals for stuff they clearly didn't believe in. I do VPNs and stuff, and pouch, like money saving stuff. One, I need the money, and because I get demonetized, and the audience know that, so they're kind of like, well, he doesn't get much ad revenue. We'll let him have this. And two, they're products I actually believe in. Like, I genuinely believe in. That's not to say that I'm the perfect person, because I guarantee you I've done brand deals before with stuff I don't believe in. I'll say that now. Anime sex games. I don't believe in that, right? But,
you don't play them.
No, but I made it very clear. I also donated a percentage to charity just to save my own back, really, because I wanted to go, look, I want this money. It's mental money. And if some massive company in Japan or wherever they may be want to pay me this money, I'm going to take that from the bigger people. But going back to there will be times like that where I do a cash grab. Hopefully I make an entertaining video with it anyway, to at least give the audience something. What I needed to tell, this is the underlying thing. If I'm getting the audience to buy a product or asking them to buy a product, I don't want to rip them off. So Pouch, who I've worked with recently, great. I'm not being paid to say this, by the way.
No.
There is no reason you shouldn't have Pouch. It's a free plugin, right? That you like. This is where I'm not on script now, so I have to try and remember how they want me to word it. But fuck it. This is the reason why I get it, right? And I use it on my computer is because you forget about it. Now Pouch might be thinking, well, that's not good. No, it's perfect because you forget about it until you want to buy something online, and it goes ding, and it pops up and goes, there you go, we just saved you 10 quid. Sometimes it'll go, just saved you 25p. What? All right, it's only 25p, but it's 25p I wasn't going to get anyway.
Yeah.
And it doesn't cost anything. So I will do Pouch advertisements as long as they want to have me because I believe in the product. VPN, you have to pay a little bit. And I do use VPNs. When I went over to Miami, I genuinely turned on a VPN to show that I was accessing a server to pretend that I was accessing a server in England so I could watch Match of the Day. Because you can't watch it if not. So there's me using a product that I've... Best Fiends. It's an app. The thing is, if I can get the viewers to download a free game and I get paid for it, I'll do it. It's question marks when I'm trying to get them to download a $9.99 game or something like that. But I think the majority of stuff I've promoted is free for them to do.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. I think obviously I can trip up on my words because I say a lot of stuff, but deep down that's what I believe, and they're the morals that I try to uphold. You might find a case where you go back 3 years and go, well, Jack, you advertised this. Yeah, I'd probably just let one slip through the net then. I'm not perfect. I've called stuff out that I kind of like think was a bit silly in the past, calling stuff out. But yeah, I mean, you haven't got to buy anything. So if you can, guys, if I do a brand deal and it's free, sort me out, download it, can you? Because then they might do another one. And
You'll get more money.
I will also never let the money go to my head, though. One day when I'm in a nice house that I've bought from money purely from YouTube, there won't be one night where I go to sleep and I forget who bought me that house.
Yeah.
Everyone that watched my videos, everyone that supported me, everyone that commented. I've said this on a live stream before. I want to do it again. If anyone out there can write a script, like a computer script, that will let me download all of the usernames of anyone that's ever subscribed to my channel, I would love to get them and minimize them and put them over a YouTube play button and have it printed out and put it into my house so I never forget where I've come from and why I have the things that I have. So, yeah, I have this thing. Last thing I'll say on the matter, I have this thing with my audience where they know I need to survive. They know I need to live. And as long as I'm not mugging them off and as long as I'm not ripping them off and go, really, guys, you need to buy this fucking £10.99 fucking anal beads. Like, they're brilliant. Like, as long as I'm not doing that, then I think I'm all right. I'm sweating now. I feel like I'm on Paxman.
I've been asking some good questions.
Yeah,
Do you
you
think
have.
prison is boring? I didn't know how deep you'd want to go in this, so I have done a small amount on mental health.
Yeah.
Mainly because I think us together have been on a bit of a roller coaster with that. We've had many a nights talking about stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to also keep it YouTube based because
You do what you want, mate.
what people
do
care.
what you want, yeah.
How much would you say YouTube has affected your mental health, both for the good and the bad?
Oh, God, it's fucking both. Both so extreme.
Yeah.
Because before I had YouTube, I didn't really have much of a life. Do you know what I mean? I had nothing. So then I have YouTube and you get a bit of status and you get a bit of money. And of course, Fiona's not with me because I'm a YouTuber, but when I met her, she recognised me from YouTube. So maybe I wouldn't have had that partner if I didn't do YouTube. YouTube has given me a life and YouTube has given me everything that I hold dear. We get to meet up now. We live on the other ends of the country, but we meet up to do YouTube. So it's given me everything. And I was probably like a bit of an angsty teenager, not knowing where I'm going in life. YouTube comes along and it helps my mental health. But I also know that how low I felt before I had YouTube. And if that goes, I might be back to that low place again. When I don't upload for 6-7 weeks, I start feeling my mental health dip a little bit. But you can never really pick. It's like the chicken and the egg. Am I at a low point, so I'm not uploading because I don't feel funny, don't want to make comedy videos? Or am I not uploading because I'm lazy and that's putting me in a low?
Yeah.
This is a bit of a hit and miss, but with the health anxiety and stuff, which I won't go into today because we went into it with Joe.
We've covered it, yeah.
You can watch that clip if you want. But with that, which is a proper mental illness, obviously that has nothing to do with YouTube. And when I'm feeling low in that kind of aspect, I struggle to do YouTube. So YouTube has given me everything. YouTube has given me far more good than it has bad. And if I had become an Alfie or someone like who goes up to people and go, how many subs you on? That's bad for your mental health.
Yeah.
I've managed to keep the two very separate, and I'm thankful to myself and to my friends and my family that I've been able to do that. So I'd say it's about 80% positive, 20% negative.
A lot of YouTubers now, well, a lot of people online in general now are really open about depression and anxiety.
Yeah.
Do you think YouTube could be part of that reason for certain YouTubers?
Yeah, just social media on the whole. Like, like YouTube has that thing where you can upload and it tells you how good your video's performing compared to the last 10.
Yeah.
That fucks me, that does. Because if I upload what I think's a good video and it goes, oh, your video is 10 out of 10 in a bad way. It's the 10 most viewed video from your last 10, meaning all other 9 were better than this. And because it's slap bang in the middle of your analytics page on YouTube,
You can't miss it.
you upload something you've been working on for days, maybe weeks at a time. And like my Love Island video where I trick Love Island stars, that's one of my favourite videos I've ever done. I uploaded that and it goes, oh, and that one's not a great example because it was 4 out of 10. But imagine uploading that and it going, oh, this is 10 out of 10. Just because of how many people chose to click on it. Just because of how many times YouTube thought they'd feed it into the algorithm. They'd post it. It's up to YouTube how well your video does. Of course, you've got a big hand to play in it. You've got to make good content, good thumbnail. But if YouTube want to limit a channel, they can do it like that. And that can fuck people's heads.
Fair enough. So, so YouTube can be at fault for mental health. Do you have any moments where you feel you were responsible for someone's mental health?
Probably.
Thanks to your YouTube?
What, like I've slagged them off and then they've got a
maybe
bit
a joke
sad?
you've said, or is there a specific joke you might regret? where you think, oh, actually, that might have affected that person?
No,
or are you still at the point where you don't think about them, like when you were
No,
at college
no,
being a bastard?
I do think about them at school.
School, sorry.
I do think about it, but I think I probably, like I said, I regret more the jokes I made to people at school than I do on YouTube, because especially for the last 6 or 7 months, a lot of the stuff I've made has been very reasoned and really thought out.
Yeah.
So if I'm questioning stuff I've said in the last 3 or 4 years, especially, then I haven't done my job right.
Yeah.
So
you've grown. So.
Yeah, I don't question it. And you could argue, I'm not going to go into this, I'm going to keep this under fucking 30 seconds if I can, but you could argue, but slagging off that advent calendar may have halted her career quite a lot. She chose to put it for 50 quid, didn't she?
It's true.
I didn't. So, yeah, sorry.
All positive stuff.
Yeah.
Let's try and go back on the positives now. There's not too much we can go into for mental health unless we want to go on a dark spiral.
Yeah.
So, why do you think happy hour is the thing you've most been proud of after 10 years? And why is it because you have me?
I just think I tried a hell of a lot of different series and none of them really took off. So, would I be as proud if it wasn't getting as many views and listens? Probably not.
That could go for anything, though.
Yeah, but I think it's a case of we've had guests far bigger than I ever thought we would have. Yeah?
Yeah.
It's made the YouTube community hopefully see me in a different light. I know a lot of the sidemen probably wouldn't have touched me with a 10-foot barge pole. Now they come in, they want to be part of the show. I think a lot of YouTubers respect it as a well-respected YouTube and Spotify show. Like, so I think what I've built with the help of you, of course, I can't just say me, but what we've built is off our own backs, and especially off of my own back, because it's an idea that I just thought of randomly, is we've made, mate, such a credible show. I don't believe that my main YouTube channel is even in the top 500 UK YouTube channels. I don't believe that anymore. I don't want that accolade. So that's why I upload sparingly. I still enjoy it, but there we go. This podcast is a fucking brilliant podcast. Peter Blexley, Raphael Rowe, Joe Weller, Stephen Tries, all of the people that have given up their time to come on this podcast. Thank you very much, because you've made this the best thing I've ever done.
I did like the clip that we were sent yesterday of WillNE.
Fair play to him.
That was, yeah. Even he seemed shocked at how, because we're obviously very consistently quite high in the Spotify charts.
Yeah.
And even they were like, fucking hell. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think they realised.
Yeah, well, James Marriott's reading out where the E-boys are in the charts, isn't
Yeah.
he? And he goes, Joe Weller's 2 ahead of us. And they go, fair play, Joe. He goes, Joe Rogan's 6 ahead of us. And then they go, oh, and 30 places above that is Happy Hour. And WillNE goes, fucking hell, like they bang views. And he goes, Stevie fucking White. Which
So Will knows where it all comes from.
they can meme it as long as they want. I've said it, I like all them boys, but we should be proud of what we've made, because this is one hell of a show. And of course you get the silly little shows where we talk about sandwiches and we talk about meal deals, but that's what makes it Happy Hour.
Yeah.
People, this means the world to me. Yeah, people, like I said with Joe Weller, people come up to me and they in the street and they go, "Oh, Jack, love your videos, mate. Oh, the calendar video, that's lovely, that's brilliant." But when they come up, and they're often older folks. Nothing against the youngsters that listen, but the 20-year-olds of the world and whatnot, and they go, "Mate," and they maybe not even ask for a picture. Maybe they go, "Mate, fucking love your podcast." I'm like, yes, that's what
Yeah.
I want. Did I tell you what a guy said to me in Cornwall?
No?
He was the coolest guy ever. Yeah, I'll probably remember if he's listening, because he says he listens to the show. So I met him in a little corner shop on a Sunday night. I was just buying a little 4-pack of beers, and I had my t-shirt over my face like this because I didn't have a mask with me. And he's behind me. He's a cool guy. He looks like a bit of a surfer dude. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's quite a cool guy. And he goes, and he's behind me for a while, and I pay for the stuff, and then I'm sort of waiting for Alfie, and he goes, "Mate, are you JaackMaate?" And I go, "Yeah, mate, you're right." And he goes, "Mate, your podcast is sick. I listen to that every day when I'm at work." I was like, "Oh, thanks, mate." And then he just went, "How are you enjoying Cornwall?" And I was like, "Yeah, really good, man." And then he went, "Okay, mate, sick." And then he gave me a few recommendations of where to go. Didn't ask for a picture or anything. He went, "Have a sick one, mate." And I was like, what a guy. Like, that's just the standard normal chat. And that meant so much to me. That's not taking anything away from the people that go, "Can I have a picture?" I'll have a picture all day long. But it was just such a cool he's just a normal guy going about his life, and he listens to us in his headphones when he's at work.
I had a really weird moment like that during lockdown. I went to B&M just to go shopping, and some guy just goes, behind me. He goes, Stevie White. And I turn and he pulls out his headphone. He goes, that confused me so much. And he just got his phone out and he was listening to our podcast. And he was like, I could hear your voice doubling. And because I was talking to my housemate and he got really confused.
That's mad.
It was the most mental situation. I was like, and it was really awkward because it was
Yeah.
in lockdown. So I felt bad because I was just like, we had to stay away from each other.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool.
That's, yeah.
But like moments like that are so cool for it.
Yeah, it's like my cousin Frankie Dean, he's a musician, and I went and that exact same thing happened to me, yeah, and it was like there's this weird moment where it sounds like I made this up, but it all happened exactly as I say this. I was in Top Man. I think I was just coming to do the podcast. Tom Grennan one was in the evening, and I was in Topshop. And I was walking through it and I was listening to Franco Fraser on my headphones. He's a respected musician, but he's not big in any stretch of the imagination. And I was listening to him in my headphones. Some guy comes over and he goes, because I'm always proud when I'm listening to my cousin. And the guy goes, signals for a picture. So I take my headphones out and I go, hello, mate, you right? And he goes, oh, mate, love the podcast. And I'm like, completely ignore him because I'm like, oh, sorry, mate, hang on. Because Franco's still playing. And then I'm like, what the hell? Franco's playing out loud. Franco's got his song on in Top Man, and I'm buzzing, and there's a guy that recognises me for my passion. My cousin's playing out, and it was just this accumulation of, look where you are, mate. Look what you've done.
That is cool.
Yeah. And it's the moments like that where I have to sit back and kind of like look at it through a wide angle lens and think, yeah, fucking hell, we've done all right here.
So you obviously have a very high opinion of this podcast.
Yeah.
What would you say your dreams for this podcast are? Where do you want it to go from here? Because obviously we're already pulling in the guests that you want. Obviously there's some people that would still love to have on. But what more?
What, so aside from which kind of guests? Like,
ignore guests.
Yeah.
Let's assume, based on how you've done for pulling in guests so far,
Yeah.
assume we can get
Bigger and better.
most people
Not
who
better,
we
but
want.
Yeah. I don't think I would change much because I think it's kind of like the dream situation now. Obviously, more money's always good. But apart from that, I'd like guests to feel that they can come on twice. So I don't want like Bazinga to go, I've already done it. Come on again, mate. Let's have a chat. Like, I want it to be like, exactly what it is now, but just on steroids. Obviously, you've got to keep growing and stuff, but
That's a strange thing because I think Peter Blexley was known as one of our best ever episodes.
yeah.
I enjoyed episode 2 with him more
Did you?
because I think it was Blexley with Happy Hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
So obviously by this point they should have heard it.
Yeah,
so
they
it's,
would
it's
have.
been out now.
Yeah. That was the last ep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that moment, it was like we could just take the piss a bit more. Blexley was
Yeah.
more relaxed with us, obviously. Obviously, it was incredible the first time, but I felt like we just had to sit back and listen.
Wasn't that the one we said was the most happy hour episode ever?
The one, yeah, it was more us. We managed to bring that in, and Blexley joined in with us, and it was like it was a strange thing
Yeah.
that a character like he is could also become a host in a way.
Yeah.
And like joined in with those moments.
This is why we always ask the meal deal question, even though it's a bit of a weak question, because it breaks the ice with a guest and it normalises them and it lets them know, like, all right, Raphael Rowe, you've been in prison with murderers. I know we didn't ask him.
I was about to say, awful example.
Yeah, it is an awful example. That was completely out of me forgetting, though. Otherwise, I would have done. But all right, Raphael Rowe, you've been in prison with murderers. But what's your favourite meal deal? Bring it down. Normalise it. Sometimes we will admit that we've had guests that haven't been too comfortable with being on a podcast, but thankfully they've still given us the time. And it's kind of been Jack and Stevie interview the guest.
Yeah.
Or sometimes Jack interview the guest, or guest just talk, right? The best episodes, as you quite rightly put it, is when you can interview the guests, get the sound bites out of them, also get them to open up and feel comfortable in this space, but make it happy hour. Make them be able to laugh, take the piss out of them, let them take the piss out of us. We're British boys. We enjoy British banter, and if we can just keep that going, I want people to be able to listen at work, hear great stories of what Blexy's done in his life, but also have that light release where they're like, them two cunts are cunts. Do you know what I mean? Like, and
we do some stupid shit at the same time.
Yeah, for sure. One week you might get us interviewing undercover police officer Peter Blexley or wrongly accused murderer Raphael Rowe, but the next week we'll probably just be talking about how we don't like avocado.
I don't like avocado.
No, neither do I. Shit. Shit.
Fiona's seething.
Yeah, it's fuming.
Shall we finish on a few quick questions?
Yeah.
Because we've covered a lot there.
Yeah.
These might not even be quick once I say it. So, first, what is the best thing YouTube as a whole has given you?
Everything.
You can say Fiona as well, remember, technically, based on that.
Everything.
You couldn't pinpoint a specific?
It's given me a career, money, a life I never thought I'd have, fiance, everything.
Fair enough. It's a good answer. What would you say the best thing about your in particular, viewers or listeners, that sets them apart from others?
An honest relationship. They will tell me if I fuck up, and that's why I'll keep it quick. But that's why, and I know I trust myself that I'm never going to do anything horrific, but I won't be cancelled over anything stupid because they can tell me when I've fucked up, and I'll learn. And I'll also tell them to shut the fuck up if they say something I don't like. This is the thing, yeah. I reply to some negative comments, and Fiona goes, Why are you replying to nasty comments? Because I don't care. I don't care for my audience in the same way that they shouldn't live their life caring about me.
Yeah.
I'm here online. You can support me all you want, and I appreciate it. But if you ever get bored, just fucking click off or call me a cunt.
You're not forced to be there.
And that's a great way to be. That's a healthy way to be. So honesty is what I have.
Okay. On to 3. Let's go with, do you have any regrets or anything you do differently? Any specific moment that you might do differently over the last 10 years of YouTube?
Not really. Not really. I'd have probably been a lot less harsh at the start, but saying that, that's where I learnt to grow as a person. If I wasn't that harsh at the start, I'd probably be harsh now.
Yeah, and you wouldn't be where you are now.
So no real regrets, really.
Okay,
No.
we'll flip that completely then. What about a moment, if you could take one moment from the last 10 years of YouTube,
Yeah.
and you could relive one of them, which would it be?
Meeting Ricky Gervais for the first time.
It was an easy answer, wasn't it? As I was writing that question, I was like, that's definitely what he's going to say.
It was the time when I've become... I left the room and because I was so nervous, and it was always my goal, and you can find old tweets of me like tweeting him, and then he gave me his time and we did this show, and the first 3 or 4 minutes was awkward as fuck and I wasn't very good, and I pulled it round and did one of the best comedy interviews I've done, and I left the room and my mate Tom just like give me a hug and was just like, that's fucking brilliant. And I thought, I've done it, I've done my dream, and there you go, I'd live that 100 times over.
It's a nice dream. I'll take Gervais this time round.
Yeah.
And then what would you say your plans are now moving forward? Is JaackMaate dying?
No, JaackMate's not dying. I'm probably gonna make videos when I want. I used to just make them to pay a rent. What I wanted to be a takeaway from this is if you see a video, I want the audience to know that I want to make that video. So if I've not uploaded in 6 weeks, you can moan about my upload schedule and whatnot, but I don't care.
But within that 6 weeks, we would have uploaded 12 happy hours.
Exactly.
So
Happy
it's
hour
fine.
is not going anywhere.
Okay, and finally, something we like to ask all of our guests on season 4.
Yeah.
What is the meaning of life?
I genuinely didn't even think you'd ask me that, so I haven't thought it. What is the meaning of life? As an atheist, you're only here once, so live and do whatever you want to do. If you're not hurting anyone, do what you want to do. If you want to go out and get drunk, go and do it. If you want to make a YouTube video, do it. And this is the thing, do it. Stop coming up to me on nights out and going, I really want to make a YouTube channel of me drumming. Just do it. And the thing is as well, be aware that if you do a new venture, in the long run, if you're having fun, this is the thing, yeah? A calendar, see it as red and green blocks. If you have a day where you've had fun and you've done what you want to do and you've enjoyed it, even if you have to go to work to pay your way, have fun. Try and have fun when you're at work. Banter with people, have a laugh, and then at the end of the day, give it a green tick and a red cross. And a red cross if it's not been a good day. And if at the end of the month you can look back and you've got more green ticks than red crosses, you've had a good month. At the end of the year, more green ticks, you've had a good year. At the end of your life, you want to have more green than red.
Who would have thought JaackMate's meaning of life involved a calendar?
Brilliant. Wow.
That's everything.
There we go.
We've covered a lot.
Stevie, brilliant. Great questions. It's been a bit of a therapy session for me. I've enjoyed it. Hopefully, I'm going to ask some powers that be. So this might just stay, but hopefully this might go on the main channel.
Oh,
We'll see.
that's a big one.
We'll see what happens. Thanks, mate. And special mention to you as well, because you've been by my side since the start. We're going to keep doing it. Absolutely smashed it. You came on as just a mere member of the pub. I know you're my mate, but
I'm
like,
still a mere member of the public.
yeah, of course. But you didn't have any hosting skills, any broadcasting skills.
Still don't.
And you're still terrible. And special mention to Fiona, who's left her job in retail and now edits Happy Hour full time. And the first month she did it, we smashed it beyond belief. So we're building a little family here, and it's an absolute pleasure to share the ride with you. And the last thank you of the day goes out to the audience. Thank you very much for supporting me, Stevie, Fiona, the Happy Hour crew through all of this. Absolute legends. Thanks, Stevie.
That was nice.
We'll see you in a bit. It's been JaackMaate's Happy Hour.